Gentles and ladymen, welcome to another ramble. My name is B. Dylan Hollis. The sun is somewhat in my eyes, which I must be very careful. I'm not going to be complaining about. Why? Because it is past 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and the sun remains up. And that's a very special thing because we couldn't say that for the 2-3 months of the deep, dark winter that we've just emerged from. It's always a good thing that the sun remains up for longer. I get sad when it doesn't. Perhaps it's because I'm an islander. Bermudians require sunlight. So I'm happy about that. And I'm happy also to be in this car rambling at you, where I talk about current events, one really cool old thing, and then a peculiar old recipe. I'm happy to be doing so because it's very nearly 2 months until the release of my second book, Baking Across America. And it's apt that I show you this because the car that we're sat in right now is the car pictured on the cover. Ernest, my 1963 Cadillac Series 62 or Series 6200, depending on who you ask. And I tell you what, even in 1963, they had sun visors that swiveled. Now, they don't go aft and fore, right, like these newfangled modern cars, but they do swivel, like many office chairs. Perhaps you're sat in one right now. So I'm excited about that. 2 months until the car that I'm in right now is in the hands of all of y'all. Again, it's available for pre-ordering. Right now, it helps. But yeah, other current events. Ooh, I got my first flat tire. They say, Dylan, how can that be? You're a car guy. You've never changed a tire. It's true. Don't chastise me. How am I going to have the experience of changing a tire if I never get a flat and my friends never get a flat and either call me or I'm in the car or in the vicinity to help? I've never been able to have this first time experience because I've just never been near a tire that is flattened. And it finally happened to me in this car, which is a pain. And of course it was on the rear wheels. It was on the driver's side rear wheels, driven wheels, which isn't the issue. The issue is that they're behind fender skirts, which, if anyone owns a Cadillac of this vintage, a 63 or a 64, getting the fender skirts off is not hard, but if you do it wrong, you bend the entire thing. You ruin it. It's a little square nut head that you have to turn, and the tray falls down the fender skirt falls down like a tray in your lap, and it swivels. But in order to unlock that, it's a square bolt. A bolt with a square head, rather. Did I say nut? I didn't mean to, if so. And if you turn it one way, the little arms that keep the fender skirt in place just bend your entire fender skirt, and it's warped. Thenceforth. But if you turn it the right way, it just swivels down. So I'm not even going to quote which direction is correct because I got this flat tire about a month ago. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is a ramble. I'm glad we called them that. I got it for the first time, and it was one of the upsetting flat tire events. You say, Dylan, what is an upsetting flat tire event? Aren't they all upsetting? No. This is one of the ones where the flat occurred after you had parked the car, and you didn't realize until you started driving. So I got up one morning, went to the convenience store, drove the Cadillac, fine, parked it, and then just like an hour later, I had to go to an appointment, so I got back in the car, didn't look. How often do you just inspect all 4 wheels before you take off? I don't, I'll admit that. I got in the car, and immediately I was like, oh my God, something is terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. And I look in my little side mirror, my driver's side mirror, well, it's the only side mirror in the car. And I could see that thing was just flat, completely flat. Pretty sure I, messed up my steel little wheels. My rims are bent. He said, Dylan, did you drive it? No, I didn't. Look, I drove it like half a block, but this is a heavy car. I managed to get the tire iron out. I got the fender skirts off. I jacked the car up, but I couldn't get the car up high enough. These cars are really interesting because the jack is mounted to the bumper, the chrome bumper, and you have to jack it up. It's one of those bitty by bitty. I guess that's all jack. That's all jacks. I just realized if the mechanic was listening to me describe this, it would sound so You know, there's layman, and then there was whatever that was. But I couldn't jack the car up, so I jacked it up with the jack, and I walked home, and I got my bigger jack, and I jacked it up, and jack stands, and I changed the tire, and I put on a tire. And the tire that I've got on here was in the car. And it's old as the hells. I want to say it's from the 70s. And it's still got air in it, and I'm still driving on it. Now, I'm no fool. I'm not going to take this on the highway or anything like that. But I just think it's really neat that I'm driving, you know, a 60-odd-year-old car. And I've got a 45, 50-year-old tire as a spare that I put on, and it worked. Anyway, that's a current event, right? It was fun. The thing is that I was so, it's like your first time or your first kiss before it happened. You're so like anxious for it to occur so you can just get it over with. So you can say you've done it. So by the time, you know, I'm a full-blown adult. By the time I finally got this flat, I wasn't upset. I was like excited. I was like, oh my God, I finally get to see if I can do it by myself. I'm not going to call anybody. I'm going to get this thing done. And I did. I got it done. So that's that. And let's talk about the old thing we'll be speaking about tonight. Of course, if you're not watching this at night, then this is the old thing we're going to be talking about today. This. You'll notice that all of the old things that I really like have to do with like electromechanics or electrics or like bulbs. This is a General Electric projector lamp. You say, Dylan, wow, why are you showing me a projector lamp? Because they're some of the most beautiful things to emerge from American factories. For those of you who don't know, a projector, we used to have to watch movies. I say this like I was around. I wasn't. But back in the day, movies were a series of photographs on film that, you know, were powered, and the film is translucent, and a light would be shone through it and projected onto a wall. And before fancy LEDs or anything like that, they had to be, you know, illuminated by lamps. This is a very powerful lamp. This is a 500-watt lamp, which is low for a projector lamp. It's a 500-watt lamp. But look at it. The design of this is so sophisticated. It's gold capped. It's obviously an incandescent lamp with several filaments, you know, betwixt, but it's got this like reflector plate on it. And these would have been hand assembled. You can see those, they look like springs, but those are the filaments. And then you've got a reflector plate behind it. You've got some heating equipment. You can see this little glass ampule, for lack of a better word, down below, which isn't connected at all to the side. It's, you know, it's all of this ceramic heat sinks. It's connected to the metal. There's caging. I mean, it's fascinating. These were relatively expensive, which was a shame because they don't burn for very long. If I recall, like, you know, this is a DEK lamp. But these would run for sometimes as low as like 4-hour runtimes, 5-hour runtimes, and then you would have to replace them. This is probably one that's, you know, 10. You might be able to get 15 hours out of it. But I love this. It's almost like and it's like a terrarium, but with all of the fascinating mechanical dude. I just think it's fantastic. You should check out like pictures online of the 1,000-watt ones. Craftsmanship, cool stuff. Those are my 3 words. But that's the old thing I wanted to show you today. Moving on to the old recipe. Alrighty, we have come inside for the old cookbook, the old recipe I wanted to show you today, because it was getting dark out there. But this here's a cookbook titled Ace Cooks for Kids and Arapahoe County Extension Childcare Food Program Cookbook, part of the Colorado State University Cooperative Extension Service. This was published in 1993, and this is gonna be a quick one, because I just wanted to highlight how wacky things could get even late into the 20th century. So here, amidst the mini vegetable pizzas, the burger bundles, and the nibbler snack mixes, we have down yonder on lowly page 136 is a recipe titled Tuna Cones. You read that correctly, folks. It's calling for, canned tuna, chopped celery, onion, mayonnaise. So it's a tuna salad for tuna salad's sake. Insofar as, yes, there's even 3 cups of cooked macaroni. So you're making a tuna salad, but oh my lord, it's served in 12 bloody ice cream cones. Now, why you would want to serve your tuna salad in ice cream cones, I don't think that's a question for the earthly. That's sort of a divine question. I don't understand this at all. I can't knock it too much because I've not tried it. Has anyone consumed their tuna salad in ice cream cones? What was going on in the 1990s? I mean, even you might be wondering what these are. Since this is an extension service cookbook, one thing you'll find when you invariably flip through these like I do is that they placed a lot of emphasis on nutrition, because the extension service there is there to work for you. So they teach you how to, farm properly. They give you all of the knowledge you need. And this was an attempted giving of knowledge insofar as nutrition is concerned. So this was back when we thought fat and everything was bad. So these 2 numbers are the grams of fat per serving. In the top left is for a 6-year-old, and the bottom right is for a 12-year-old. At least as I understand it, this cookbook might be a little bit different. And then these are the servings, respectively, for a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old. So this was back when we thought fat was evil and when we thought cholesterol was bad. And that's what this little tidbit here is saying, because this is basing it off of this cookbook's specific nutrition, guidelines, for lack of a better word. It says the ice cream cones are not credible as a bread alternate. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe alternative would be the better word to use there, not alternate, but what do I know? But yeah, that's just what I wanted to show you. I don't need to make up wacky bad ideas. No, they're not clickbait. Even in 1993, people were publishing really wacky, you can consider this a government recipe, really wacky things like tuna cones. And there you have it. I'm freezing. I'm going to start the car. You want a carburetor test? Here, the fan's going to be on. You can hear the pump. I put an electric fuel pump in the actual fuel tank. I've still got the engine driven, the mechanical fuel pump in the bay, but I just want some extra pressure, especially in the summer. 3, 2, 1. Oh no, it's cold out there. Not bad. All right, take care.